Hey guys, it is Chelsea Perry coming at you with Module 2 discussion board. What? Sorry, I know I'm weird. But, so let's just get right on into it. So, the topic for discussion this week was discuss the issue on informed consent. And within that, you needed to tell what it was, why it is important in social work practice, and what are the challenges extant in providing informed consent. I hope I said that one word right. I wasn't real sure. So basically, informed consent is ethical and legal requirement that a client is supposed to make. So basically, within that, you tell the client, like, the purpose of whatever kind of treatment plan they're going to, the benefits of what it is, and also the risks as well, so they know they're getting the best treatment possible for whatever they are doing. So, like, last semester when I did my service learning hours, we had on Saturdays, it was considered family day. So we had the girls, I worked at a drug and alcohol abuse clinic up in Johnson City. It's called Willow Ridge. And basically we had the girls, they had to sign like an informed consent when they would come in, and they would have their families come in, that basically they would not bring anything in that could harm their recovery and just things like that. And they also had to sign when they came in, basically that they were there for treatment and they had strict rules and stuff like that. So it was just the informed consent, and sometimes it can be and if you're in a session with a client, sometimes it can be verbal, sometimes it is mandatory that it's written, stuff like that. But it is very, very important for a client, to know what their treatment is and have full say-so in it, basically. So they need to understand all aspects of it. Sometimes you may need to go into more detail with certain aspects of it. But they need to understand all consequences and stuff like that of the treatment before they can fully accept, or give consent to do the treatment. It's kind of like, the best way I can think of informed consent is when you go to a doctor's office, and your doctor's like, oh, you have to get blood, like we have to test I don't know what they test for, your A1C. I think that's one that they have to check on me. So, I mean, most of the time it's implied that it's okay with you unless you verbally say, no, it's not okay. And then in that case, like, they have to go back to the doctor. But most of the time that's informed consent without writing. But obviously there are cases and instances of where it has to be written. Sometimes there can be a lot of barriers, when you're trying to get consent. One big thing with, like, in our modern world today would be like a language barrier, because obviously, like, you have people of all different ethnic and different backgrounds, so they may speak a different language, so that's a barrier. Sometimes you'll have clients that are of different religions than you, or not so much a different religion, but they have different beliefs, stuff like that. And then a lot of times, if you work in like a school system or you're working in like a counseling setting, you'll have a lot of clients who are under 18 years old. So it's not really up to them. It's up to their parent, to give. I mean, obviously their consent matters too, but if they're under 18, most of the time they rely on the parent's consent to do whatever. So, sorry, I have my notes typed out on my computer. And another kind of common thing that could happen when you're trying to get informed consent is you as a social worker could not, sometimes you maybe don't explain the whole situation as well as it should be. And so the client gives consent and then something happens and that's not, the client's like, I didn't sign off for this, but you're like, yes, you did. And but then the client's like, well, you didn't explain it that way, blah, 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 blah. So that's where liability insurance comes in. But it's always important to get informed consent no matter what you're doing in any kind of treatment, any kind of session, anything you do with clients. Always have that informed consent and stuff like that. But that is about it. I will see you guys next week. Deuce.